I'm seeing a lot of things on social media about revival. A lot of these Christian nationalist pastors and preachers are out saying, we're bringing people into the church. They're coming in. They're coming to Jesus. It's revival. We're seeing revival. This is not revival. I have covered revival before because I went through it when I was 16. It's a change in here, revival. And actually, you allow the Spirit to move in you and do different things in your spirit. You become more Christ-like. That's revival. What we're seeing is people turning to the church as a purely cultural thing. I'm sure I've covered this before in many different aspects. Cultural Christianity is simply people who want to hold on to Western culture and see that as Christian. Even Richard Dawkins, the chief atheist, describes himself as a cultural Christian. It's a cultural backlash against the whole idea that we're being invaded by Muslims and other faiths, and people are turning from their faith. In other words, they're turning from Western culture, and they're deciding to not live that way anymore. Because a lot of the things about Western culture just don't add up for them. So all these people who are coming to church and saying if they're actually coming to follow Jesus, praise God, I'm happy about that, I really am. The more people come to know Jesus, the happier I will be and follow him properly. But all that's called about revival. I go right back to a time of social media some years ago when I got chatting to a stranger who said that he was wanting to see revival across the United Kingdom. And I asked him about his faith, how he was raised, how did he come to know Jesus? And he said to me, no, I'm atheist. I'm just a conservative atheist. My politics are conservative. And I know that when you have revival in the church, it helps conservative politics. That's why I want revival. It's purely a politically conservative thing. Because so many churches will just promote their conservative ideology. And it's nothing really to do with following Jesus. Not true revival. I reject that. Individual level, please follow Jesus. Please come to know him and follow his commands as best you can. Become a disciple. But the idea of the church going through revival is just hogwash. Sorry to burst that bubble. But that's just the way it is. It's political, it's cultural, but it's not spiritual. And these Christian nationalist preachers are not spiritual at all. I will hold my hand up and say, I will not retract that. What they're doing is not spiritual, it's political. But you can follow me for more.